one, you do that for the other. Okay, so this is my button. I can just rename it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, let's quickly just go through the formula. So we have a land surface. So the first step, we're going to convert the top of atmosphere, that's the QR radians. So we want to look at the radians, okay? And we can do that by using the radians rate scaling factor. That's thermal infrared, digital numbers. And yeah, so we use that, we convert that to spectral radians, okay? So the formula is as this, okay? Where emphasis have been laid on what each of these stand for. Okay, so the ml is the radians multiplicative band number, and we can find that in the MTL file. The same thing for the radians, yeah, so the radians are band, and that's the AL, and the quantized and calibrated standard products, pixel values. Same for the correction value. So all these things are emphasized on. Okay, so let's quickly get started. Okay, so you have the formula at the back of your mind, but first I'm just going to take out the area I want. Okay, so this is my study area. So I'm adding that and just quickly clip out. I think I did a video on this already, so you can just do that. So you highlight this and we go to this image, and you highlight that and we just click this out. Okay. All right. So we have this. All right. So get this removed. We don't just need that. Okay, so after getting your area you actually want to study, then we can just quickly start. Okay, so what we're going to do is so we're going to use a raster calculator. Okay, so you go to your R catalog, and yeah, mine's already open. Okay, so it's added a special analyst too. You double click on that and that opens up. Okay, so let's just get, okay, so the first and the second is that. Okay, so we just basically go and use this. Okay, so we'll come back to our formula. What is that? So we have ml times quantized calibrated standard product and plus al minus y. So we have that back of our mind. So when we come here, so our ml is the radians multiplicative band. So when you come to your MTL file, so we're just going to search for this. So the radians multiplicative file was that. Okay, so that's here for band 10. And that's 0.003. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so there'll be 4 zeros at the end, at the start of it. So that's this. So we're gonna have something like, where's our GS? Okay, so we have this. But what this is 0.00. Sorry, 0. Okay, so that's times. Okay, so the quantized value, so I have that calculated, so that will be band 10. Okay, so that will be band 10. And if you come back to your file, you just look at the other value, you actually know what it is. So the radians add band number, that's 0.1. Yeah, so this is it. And I think it's the same for band 11. Okay, so our formula says, what is that? Yeah, so plus that. Okay, so plus what we have, then what again we have, so minus the correction, which is 0.29. Okay, so after this, what you do next is go ahead to, okay, so you go to wherever you want to save it and you give it a name. So this is the surface TOA. So I already have something like that, so I'm going to call this southern. What am I typing? Southern TOA. Okay, move ahead. So it's actually running. Okay, so our TOA is calculated. Okay, so the next thing is we go to the next step. The next step says, so we are looking at the brightness, temperature, the BT, and that comes with the formula K2 divided by, sorry, so this is the formula. Okay, yeah, so I've just done the calculations over here, but you're going to get all these in the MTL file. Okay, so when we come here, we have our K2 and K1. Okay, so the K1 is a constant band 10. Okay, so constant, so the maximum and the minimum. Okay, so the K2 is this, so we just get that copied. Okay, so that's the K2, and yeah, so you come to your, or come here, we open our app, so we have usually so our K2, so we have K2 divided by, okay, so K2 divided by, okay, so you click on this, and the next is what, yeah, K1. So we'll come here, we can see our K1. Okay, so the K1 is 774.8853. okay, so we get that copied. Okay, so we get that copied, and so it's gonna be this, and yeah, so K2 divided by the TOA plus 1. Okay, so the TOA plus 1, so that's 1. And then plus 273. Okay, let me get that right. Okay, so 273.15. Okay, so for this, we just go ahead to, so this will be the BT. So 1000 BT. So okay, so our BT, our brightness is also calculated. Okay, so when we come here, then we have the next step is the NDVI. Okay, so the normalized difference vegetation index, and this I've already calculated. I have videos on, yeah, how you calculate the NDVI. Okay, all right, so I already have my NDVI calculated. Okay, so okay, so I'm just going to add that. Okay, so I'm just going to add the NDVI calculated before. Then I just hope I get the right one. Let me see if this one. Oh, it's not this guy. Not this guy. No. I haven't popped. I don't. What's happening? This is how it's using one. Okay, so that's, I already have the NDVI, so I can just, let me just clip this out. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just Asia open, make it go here. Okay, so the next thing is we want to look at, okay, so the next one step, we have the land surface emission, and first we have to look at the proportion of vegetation. So that's the NDVI minus the minimum value of the NDVI divided by the maximum value of the NDVI minus, okay, so what we're going to do here is quickly, we look for your square here, okay, so square, and we will have the NDVI minus the minimum. Okay, so minus the minimum is also is negated, so that will be positive. Okay, so what we're going to do is just copy this. Okay, divided by, we have this, so it's the maximum value of the NDVI, maximum value minus the minimum. Okay, so minus minus is going to be positive. Okay, so we close the bracket. Well, if you don't add all, if you don't add the two, it's going to be like you're squaring only this. Okay, and that will be okay. So this is our PV. So starting PV. Okay, so we get our state. Okay. Okay, so our PV is ready. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is to look for the land surface emissivity itself. Okay, so that's A is equal to 0. Okay, so let's just get this copied. The PV plus, so we said 0.986 is the corresponding value for corrections in the equation, so we use that to correct the equation. Okay. So next we look for the E. Okay, so 0.4, so it's 0.4 times PV. Okay, so the PV, then the plus 0.986, so that's it. Okay, so yeah, so plus 0.96. Okay, so that's it. Then that will be our E. So we have some E. Okay, how do you spell my star? Okay, so we go ahead to run that. Okay, so our E is ready. Okay, so the land surface emissivity is ready. Okay, so land surface emissivity. Sorry. Now the last step is we're looking for the land surface temperature. That's our main focus. Okay, and over there the formula is BT brightness divided by 1 plus yeah, so the C2 is this actually. This is what we need. Okay. Just a minute. Should I be there? That's a wavelength. With okay, so this. All right, so C2 says 14, yeah, 14,388. This is actually new. It's not. It's a new. Blend and new this stuff. So yeah. So there's a formula. Okay, that's what we're gonna use. All right. So we have all these calculated. Okay, and we say, okay. So this is the guy, right? So the wavelength, the wavelength of emitted radiance for band 8, sorry, for Landsat 8, when it comes to you're using band 10 is 10.8 and 11 is 12.0. Okay, so you have the bulk of 9. Okay, so let's open up our. Then we're going to have our BT. What is that? So BT divided by. Okay, so BT divided by. Have 1 plus. Okay, sorry, so 1 plus. Okay, so we said that's 10.8 if you remember. So this band 11 is 12.0 times well, next is BT divided by 6. Okay, so our B2 is this, our BT divided by just 14388. I think you remember that. Okay, so that's here we say, yeah. Then we got that closed. The next thing is, so we're multiplying that by, okay, so, and our E. What is that? Okay, so E. Is that all? Okay, so we get this closed. Okay. Okay, so I had to say that this is our southern LST. Okay, you have to run. Okay, so here we go. The land surface temperature is ready. Okay, so we can just go ahead to do the symbology, and that's just it. Okay, so you decide the notation, the connotation you actually want to give. Okay, so I just feel like picking this guy. Okay, so this gives the highest and the lowest. Okay, but if you need something that's just covering, something that will cover everything, then you want to put it in classes. You want to classify them, then you go ahead for classes. Then yeah, so change the symbology, pick whatever you want to use. Okay, so that is picked. I just need to kind of like change the labeling. Okay, so this number of significant digits, I just need like 2. Okay, so yeah, I feel okay, so I think this is it. So yeah, so we have from 570 to 580. Okay, so that's that down.